Let me tell you about Final Fantasy XIV's genius transition to a realm reborn. I have never really been a fan of MMOs. I have little to no experience with World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, and I've never played any others. They never seem to hold my attention. However, Final Fantasy XIV was recently updated to include a very generous free trial period, so I figured now is the time to give the genre another try to see if I like it. At the time of recording this video, I'm level 55. There are things that I like about the game and things that I don't like about the game. But that's not why I want to talk about Final Fantasy XIV today. I want to talk about something that can only be replicated in its scale as an MMO and is something I find really special. I've always heard about the infamous 1.0 version of Final Fantasy XIV and how poorly received it was with its players. They have since closed down the servers in favor of its updated release, Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. This is the version of the game that is what the community knows and plays today. However, there was a unique transitional period that is told canonically within the game's story, and I believe deserves attention and praise. The closing of the servers was explained in the game's story by having the old world destroyed and a new one rebuilt 5 years after. Let me set the scene for you. Dalamud, a moon-sized object, looms over the sky in a bright red glow. You can see it in the sky no matter what part of the world you're in. The sky is covered in dark clouds, thunder, and lightning. A haunting-sounding version of the main theme Answers is playing. Everyone who's logged into the game during this time is treated to this unpleasant scene. I imagine without context, it sparks a lot of confusion and discussion between its players, bringing them together. In the final moments of the game, dangerous monsters were spawned in the main towns and cities of the game. All the players banding together to fight a battle they're not sure they can even win. Then, the servers closed down for the last time, and a cutscene plays showing the world the players spent so many hours in completely destroyed. This is such an engaging way to tell a story, and it seems fun for both players and developers. It ties the game's world closely to its story and allows the developers to do crazy things in their games for the players to experience. I realize the circumstances of this event were not ideal and were brought upon by low player counts and poor reviews, but the transition to a reimagined game was handled with such creativity, and I'd love to see more things like this. Now, I'm not asking for MMO worlds to continuously be destroyed and rebuilt on such a grand scale. I realize that the developers of MMO games are already working tirelessly and endlessly to add new content to their games. Changes like these can be done on a smaller scale and are even found in A Realm Reborn. Given that A Realm Reborn takes place 5 years after Dalamud's descent, the towns seem to be still rebuilding and expanding from the damages. This is shown in the location Revenant's Toll. It started out as a small camp, and with every patch they added more buildings, brickwork roads, scaffolds, and decorations. This shows firsthand how the world was affected by Dalamud's crash, and just how much hard work it takes to build back. The aspect of real-time, long-form changes is something that can mostly only be done in MMOs with their constant patches and updates. These updates taking real-time months or even years. Newer players may never even know about these events unless they were told by other players, and that's fine. Maybe a town used every day for important items was taken over by an enemy group and now it's unsafe to go there. Maybe a new deep forest area is added to the game and merchants and players are slowly going into these areas, so a town starts to be built similar to Revenant's Toll. Maybe a large mountain you find yourself scaling every day for quests eventually erupts and opens the inside for exploration. It's okay that players will miss your old content and events. There is still value in learning these things through other players' first-hand experience, and it can be a powerful thing. Sure, I wish I could have been there myself during the end of 1.0 and the slow building of Revenant's Toll, but what could be better for both new players and veteran players than to have a chat about an old tale about the ever-changing world of Eorza. The goal of MMOs is immersion. I find myself not engaged in the moment-to-moment gameplay. You put countless hours into a world filled to the brim with NPCs that you talk to once for a quest and then never again. With a main story being told over time canonically, relevant changes to the world over months and even years, I would imagine that would engage you in the story and make you feel more connected to the world. There could only be a few other examples like this, or there could be a million examples of this. As an inexperienced MMO player, I just really want to step out of my comfort zone and talk about a genre that I typically don't enjoy. I wanted to share and highlight a positive and unique aspect of the genre that I came to enjoy and respect, perfectly blending storytelling with gameplay. These were such powerful moments that affected someone who wasn't even there for them personally.